If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
30 years ago, Mike Tyson and Donovan "Razor" Ruddock went to war.
Tyson, let's go! Hit me again! And he did with the right!
However, there was one man who took the fight to a prime iron Mike and hit him so hard, the New Yorker compared it to being kicked by a mule.
Punches like a mule kick. Unbelievable. Excuse my French, please. Oh my God.
At 6'3" and 228 carved-from granite pounds, Ruddock was one of the finest physical specimens ever to grace the heavyweight division.
I know when I hit him, something's gonna happen.
And a left uppercut, Smith goes down.
While the heavyweight division had a new champion in Holyfield, following his defeat to Douglas, Mike Tyson fought twice over a 10-month period, destroying both Henry Tillman and Alex Stewart both by first-round knockout. The tune-up fights had been orchestrated by promoter Don King before Tyson would collide with Jamaica's Donovan "Razor" Ruddock for an eliminator bout, with the winner becoming the mandatory challenger for Holyfield.
Razor Ruddock presents a very big test for Tyson.
The two gladiators went to war over just shy of 19 rounds of brutal action. Fight fans got the above and a whole lot more. The better man had won, but the masses that thought that Evander Holyfield was just holding the titles for Tyson weren't so sure anymore.
Got to have some kind of award from getting up from knockdown smiling. You must have the record of getting up smiling from knockdown.
A rivalry that lasted just over 3 months, but is still remembered and appreciated 3 decades later.
Okay, tell your family to write their will out. You're in trouble.
A feared, tyrant figure of a fighter, in equal measure to that of America's once-upon-a-time #1 menace, Sonny Liston, Mike Tyson was the most looming figure in heavyweight boxing.
Tyson was invited. There was an uppercut.
His peculiar peekaboo boxing style, amazing punching power, ruthless aggression and surprising speed caused many of his colleagues to fear him so much that they hesitated to punch him.
I was coming to destroy and win the heavyweight championship of the world.
On November 22, 1986, Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history by blasting his way through the experienced Jamaican Trevor Berbick, who had been viewed as the Prodigy's toughest opponent.
That was a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Berbick is down.
In March of 1987, Tyson earning the WBA title over Bone Crusher Smith, and then Beast Tony Tucker for the IBF belt.
And undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron.
Mike was scheduled to face Donovan "Razor" Ruddock in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, on November 18, 1989.
His next fight is scheduled against Donovan "Razor" Ruddock.
Usual Tyson arrived in Edmonton 4 weeks early to train and acclimatize himself to new surroundings, but on the very first day of training there were indications the fight was in trouble.
Because of that condition, it will be impossible for him to fight November 18th and for us to hold the fight card.
Champ, having looked lethargic, having complained of illness during his workouts, missed 4 days of training.
You cannot jog, you cannot run, you cannot spar, so there is no way we're going to allow him just to do that.
Ruddock accepted the cancellation and says he will use the extra time to better prepare himself.
Hi, Tyce. How you doing? I'm coming for you.
Donovan "Razor" Ruddock was a highly ranked heavyweight contender in the late 1980s and early 1990s. He was known for his powerful left hook uppercut hybrid, which he called the smash.
Donovan "Razor" Ruddock got to go down today as the hardest puncher in the boxing world.
Arriving on the world stage with a huge bang, Razor smashed 2 former champions to defeat in quite sensational style.
Powerful single shot. He can knock anybody out with that shot.
Ruddock banged out James "Bone Crusher" Smith in 7 rounds in 1989, and then, the following year, the Canadian scored one of the most frightening KOs in recent memory when he all but decapitated Mike "Dynamite" Dokes in just 4 rounds.
Almost killed Michael Dokes.
Meanwhile, Mike Tyson entered the Tokyo Dome to face new challenger Buster Douglas.
What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
It was a savage, 6-punch combination in the 10th round from James "Buster" Douglas that ruptured and permeated the comic-style, villainous perception which shrouded Mike Tyson's boxing persona in the late 80s and early 90s.
Hey Mike, what happened in Tokyo?
Well, it's a bad situation at the time, but I'll be okay. Buster Douglas fought a great fight, and I'll be champion again within 6 months.
Following his victory over Tyson, Douglas needed to shed roughly 48 pounds of excess mass before defending his titles against Evander Holyfield.
To the belly. There's a new heavyweight champion of the world, and his name is Evander Holyfield.
While the heavyweight division had a new champion in Holyfield, following his defeat to Douglas, Mike Tyson fought twice over a 10-month period, destroying both Henry Tillman and Alex Stewart both by first-round knockout. The tune-up fights had been orchestrated by promoter Don King before Tyson would collide with Jamaica's Donovan "Razor" Ruddock for an eliminator bout, with the winner becoming the mandatory challenger for Holyfield. Ruddock had gained a reputation as a fearful puncher, who was a left-hander fighting out an orthodox stance to devastating effect.
He's been knocked out before by a lesser opponent, and he's going to sleep again.
He scaled 228 pounds, which was close to his best fighting weight too.
He could score another great upset over Tyson if he keeps focused.
Tyson looked in excellent shape for this, the most important test on his quest to regain the crown, weighing in at 217 pounds.
If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
Tyson also had the excellent Richie Giachetti in his corner, who had handled former champion Larry Holmes and looked a suitable replacement for Kevin Rooney.
He was one-dimension fighter. He had a left hand, and and that's why we beat him.
Round one scheduled for 12.
The two fighters swung big and hit hard from the opening bell.
Oh my God, he punches so hard.
Early in the second round, Tyson scored a controversial knockdown.
He says he slipped. But Steele is counting.
After hitting Tyson with a straight left hand with less than 10 seconds to go in the round 3, Tyson countered with a powerful left hook to the side of Ruddock's head that again sent Ruddock to the canvas.
He was a hard puncher and he stayed in it even though I knocked him down.
In the 7th round, Tyson rocked Ruddock with a combination and referee Richard Steele stopped the fight.
It's over, and Mike Tyson has defeated Razor Ruddock.
He knocked the guy out. He beat the guy. How many rounds did you get, Razor Ruddock?
I wasn't hurt at all.
It was a controversial call.
We want a rematch, or we going to court.
After the fight was stopped, Ruddock's brother Delroy and his promoter Murad Mohammed got into a physical confrontation with Tyson's trainer Richie Giachetti, while Steele had to be escorted to the back by Mirage security for his safety.
We in never dreamed Richard Gill would do something in front of all these people, but he did.
Richard Steele had been accused of favoring King fighters, and many have said that the two had a cushy relationship, an accusation that the experienced referee denied.
He was hurt, and there was no need in me counting him out.
Richard Steele's an excellent referee, and I think he did the right thing.
9 days after the fight, Tyson's promoter Don King and Mohammed struck a deal for a rematch to settle any controversy over the outcome of the initial bout.
Could Tyson have finished him off? Could Ruddock have come back? We'll never know until the rematch.
The immediate rematch took place on June 28, 1991. For Mike Tyson, this was an unnecessary fight.
I would like to have a rematch. The money sounds good.
Although he was heavily favored to win the rematch, he saw Ruddock for what he was, a dangerous puncher with a lot of heart.
I don't know how many seconds was left in a round, but he wasn't going to last the round.
The second fight between Mike Tyson and Donovan Ruddock proved to be one of Tyson's greatest outings. Tyson got off to a strong start in round 1, staggered Ruddock with a right hook. Tyson continued to attack Ruddock in round 2, hit Ruddock with a strong right overhand that knocked Ruddock to the canvas.
Those were the two best heavyweights in the world you just seen perform.
Ruddock bounced back with a strong round 3, but in round 4, Tyson countered a Ruddock uppercut and landed a right hook that again sent Ruddock to canvas, though Ruddock was again able to quickly get back to his feet.
Got to have some kind of award from getting up from knockdown smiling. You must have the record of getting up smiling from knockdown.
Ruddock once demonstrated amazing powers of recovery and survived both to inflict his own damage on Tyson, who was also being penalized for boxing outside the rules.
I hit him hard, perhaps somewhere in the 8th round that hurt him, but he wouldn't go down.
By the end of the fight, Ruddock's left eye had been swollen shut and his jaw had been broken, while Tyson suffered a perforated eardrum.